The signal came without warning, a faint pulse buried in the static of a routine sweep by the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile. It was November 12, 2024, and the array's dishes were trained on a distant patch of sky near the constellation, chasing whispers of ancient star formation. At 3:47 a.m. local time, a technician flagged an anomaly, a rhythmic spike in the sub-millimeter band, repeating every 7.83 seconds. It wasn't cosmic noise or a glitch from a passing satellite. The signal carried a structure too precise, too deliberate. It was a sequence of Fibonacci numbers, encoded in bursts of electromagnetic energy, pointing directly at Earth. The discovery was logged as Object XER47, but within hours the data stream was classified, and the observatory's public feed went dark. By dawn, whispers of the event had already leaked. Independent astronomers in Australia and Hawaii, monitoring the same sector, reported similar detections. Their telescopes, smaller but no less precise, caught fleeting glimpses of a structure irregular, elongated, and moving at a velocity that defied celestial mechanics. It wasn't a comet or asteroid. It didn't tumble like natural debris. It adjusted course, decelerated, and settled into a geostationary orbit above the Pacific Ocean, precisely aligned with Earth's equatorial magnetic field. The object, now designated XER47 by internal memos, was no mere visitor. It was deliberate, and it was watching. NASA's response was immediate and opaque. A press release cited technical difficulties with ALMAS data systems, but insiders knew better. A leaked email from a senior project manager at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory revealed panic behind closed doors. "This isn't a rock. It's exhibiting controlled dynamics. We're blind on visuals, and the signal's too clean to be natural." Within 48 hours, the European Space Agency issued a parallel statement, urging calm while diverting their Sentinel-6 satellite to scan the object's position. The results were inconclusive. Optics failed, infrared sensors burned out, and radio telescopes reported alignment errors. Whatever XER47 was, it didn't want to be seen. The public remained in the dark, but the scientific community buzzed with speculation. Private observatories in South Africa and Peru, free from government oversight, shared grainy data on encrypted forums. XER47 was roughly 300 meters long, with a surface that absorbed light across all spectra, rendering it nearly invisible except for faint thermal distortions. Its orbit was impossibly stable, locked at 35,786 kilometers above sea level, a height reserved for Earth's most critical communication satellites. More unsettling was its behavior. Every 7.83 seconds, it emitted a pulse that matched the Schumann resonance, the natural frequency of Earth's electromagnetic field. It was as if XER47 was syncing with the planet's heartbeat. Days passed, and the silence from official channels grew deafening. Then, on November 18th, a second anomaly surfaced. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN, calibrated to detect subatomic particles, recorded a global magnetic fluctuation lasting 1.41 seconds. It wasn't tied to solar flares or tectonic activity. It was a harmonic wave, layered with prime number sequences, emanating from no discernible source. Hours later, a signal from the Voyager 2 probe, now drifting 19 billion kilometers away, arrived at NASA's Deep Space Network. The transmission was impossible. Voyager 2's instruments, built in the 1970s, lacked the capacity to send complex data. Yet the signal carried a compressed packet of information, mathematical constants, pi and e, interwoven with coordinates pointing to XER47's exact location. The probe hadn't sent it. Something had used it. The implications were staggering. XER47 wasn't just an object. It was a node, possibly part of a larger system that had been dormant until now. Astrophysicist Elena Marquez, a former SETI consultant, broke protocol in a public blog post. "This isn't first contact, it's a reactivation. We've tripped a wire we didn't know existed." Her post was deleted within hours, but not before it spread across X and other platforms. Users reported similar theories. The object was a sentinel, a relic of an intelligence that had seeded the solar system long before humanity's rise. The Fibonacci signals, the magnetic pulses, the hijacked Voyager transmission all pointed to a system designed to detect when a species crossed the technological threshold. By November 20th, XER47's presence was undeniable. Amateur astronomers in Brazil captured fleeting images of a dark, spindle-shaped form against the starfield, its edges shimmering with an unexplainable glow. Atmospheric sensors in Indonesia and New Zealand logged pressure anomalies, as if something were probing the upper stratosphere without leaving a trace. The object's pulses grew stronger, now cycling every 7.83 seconds with a secondary modulation that mirrored Earth's ionospheric oscillations. Scientists at MIT speculated it was manipulating the planet's electromagnetic field, perhaps as a means of communication or control. Confidential documents, later leaked by an anonymous source within ESA, revealed a deeper truth. 6 months prior, the Hubble Space Telescope had detected faint thermal anomalies near the Kuiper Belt. Dismissed as instrument noise, Now, those anomalies aligned with XER-47's trajectory, suggesting it had been approaching for months, unnoticed. An internal memo labeled Project Echo 3 warned of non-terrestrial signatures in the data, with one chilling line: "The object is not reacting to us. It's anticipating us." The memo hinted at a cover-up, driven by fear of global panic. A senior official reportedly stated, "If the public knew we're being watched, society would unravel." On November 22, XER-47 moved, without any visible propulsion. It shifted 0.7 degrees eastward in its orbit, aligning with a magnetic convergence point over the Mariana Trench. Satellites monitoring the region detected a surge in ultra-low-frequency radio waves, cycling in a pattern that matched the Fibonacci sequence first observed by ALMA. The shift was precise, deliberate, and accompanied by a new phenomenon: localized gravity distortions. Ships in the Pacific reported navigational errors, and GPS systems briefly misaligned, as if XER-47 were bending spacetime in its vicinity. The scientific community was divided. Some, like theoretical physicist Dr. Rajesh Patel, argued XER-47 was a passive observer, a relic of an ancient civilization studying Earth's progress. Others, including exobiologist Dr. Clara Voss, proposed a more unsettling theory: the object was a gatekeeper, part of a galactic network designed to assess species before they ventured too far. Voss's veil threshold hypothesis, circulated in academic circles, suggested that advanced intelligences deploy monitors to detect when a planet's inhabitants unlock certain technologies: quantum computing, gravitational manipulation, or electromagnetic control. XER-47's activation coincided with recent breakthroughs in quantum encryption at CERN and orbital AI experiments by SpaceX. Had we crossed a line? The public, still largely unaware, began to notice. Social media erupted with grainy videos of the night sky, capturing XER-47's faint outline. Hashtags like #Skywatcher47 and #NeoSignal trended on X, with users sharing theories ranging from alien invasion to government hoaxes. Independent researchers in Japan and Canada reported that XER-47's pulses were affecting radio communications, causing brief, unexplained outages. A ham radio operator in Iceland claimed to have decoded a fragment of the signal, a repeating sequence of prime numbers interspersed with what appeared to be a map of Earth's magnetic field lines. On November 25, the situation escalated. The International Space Station, orbiting at 400 kilometers, detected a faint energy signature emanating from XER-47. It wasn't electromagnetic or radioactive, it was something new, a waveform that defied known physics. The ISS crew, under strict orders, relayed the data to ground control before their feed cut out for 17 minutes. When it resumed, NASA claimed a solar interference event, but the timing was too perfect. Leaked audio from the ISS, shared on X, captured an astronaut whispering, "It's not just sitting there, it's doing something to us." By now, the world's governments could no longer suppress the truth. A joint statement from NASA, ESA, and Roscosmos acknowledged XER-47's presence but framed it as a natural phenomenon under investigation. The statement did little to quell the growing unrest. Protests erupted outside observatories, demanding transparency. Religious groups declared the object a divine sign, while others saw it as a prelude to annihilation. The stock market dipped as tech companies scrambled to secure their satellites, now vulnerable to XER-47's interference. On November 28, a new signal emerged not from XR-47, but from the Oort cloud, 1.5 light-years away. The Arecibo Observatory's successor, FAST in China, captured it, a burst of compressed data layered with mathematical constants and a faint echo of XER-47's Fibonacci pulse. The signal's origin was calculated to be a region devoid of stars or known objects, yet it carried a timestamp synchronized with Earth's magnetic fluctuation from November 18. The implication was clear: XER-47 wasn't alone. It was part of a network, and something else was responding. Dr. Marquez, now under scrutiny for her earlier statements, went on record with a rogue interview on a science podcast. "We're not dealing with a single entity," she said. XER-47 is a relay, a node in a system we can't see because it operates beyond our dimensional perception. We've been sending signals into space for decades: radio, quantum, even gravitational waves. We thought we were shouting into the void. We were wrong. Something heard us, and now it's answering. Theories proliferated. Some physicists proposed XER-47 was a quantum anchor, a device stabilizing a higher dimensional field that allowed its creators to observe Earth without direct interaction. Others suggested it was a warning beacon, activated to deter humanity from advancing further. The most chilling hypothesis came from a leaked DARPA report, which speculated that XER-47 was a mirror system, a technology that reflected a civilization's own signals back at it, forcing self-awareness. If true, every pulse, the anomaly, was a distorted echo of humanity's technological ambition. By December 1, XER-47's behavior grew more complex. It began emitting secondary pulses, no longer just Fibonacci but a fractal pattern that mathematicians at Oxford described as self-referential. The pulses seemed to adapt, responding to Earth's own electromagnetic output. When a satellite fired a test laser near XER-47's orbit, the object countered with a brief, intense burst that disabled the satellite's sensors. It wasn't aggression, it was precision, a calculated response to show it was aware. The global response was chaos. World leaders convened in secret, while the internet exploded with speculation. Posts claimed XER-47 was a precursor to an invasion, a scout for a larger fleet. Others argued it was a guardian, protecting Earth from something worse. A group of hackers, calling themselves SkyTruth, claimed to have intercepted a fragment of XER-47's signal, revealing a 3D map of the solar system with nodes at key gravitational points: Earth, Jupiter, the Sun. If accurate, it suggested a network had been in place for millennia, waiting for us to notice. On December 3rd, the final piece fell into place. A deep space telescope in Australia detected a second object, XER-48, emerging from the Kuiper Belt, smaller, faster, and emitting a signal that harmonized with XER-47's pulses. It was on a direct course for Earth. Estimated arrival, 3 months. The discovery wasn't broadcast by NASA or ESA but by a lone astronomer who live-streamed the data before authorities could intervene. The world watched as XER-48's trajectory was plotted, its path eerily precise, as if guided by XER-47's presence. Now, as XER-47 hovers silently above the Pacific, its pulses growing stronger, humanity faces a reckoning. We built telescopes to explore the cosmos, launched probes to seek life, and celebrated our ingenuity. But XER-47 didn't arrive because we found it. It was here all along, part of a system older than our species, activated when we grew loud enough to be heard. Its silence isn't indifference, it's calculation. It doesn't speak because it already knows us, our signals, our fears, our potential. The question isn't what XER-47 is, it's what happens next. Is it a sentinel, watching to see if we're ready for the next step? A mirror, showing us the consequences of our own ambition? Or a gatekeeper, deciding whether we're allowed to pass through the veil of cosmic ignorance? The answers lie not in the stars but in the silence above us, growing louder with every pulse. What do you think XER-47 is? A watcher, a warning, or something we can't yet comprehend? Share your thoughts below, and join the conversation as we uncover the truths hidden in plain sight. The cosmos is no longer a frontier, it's a mirror, and we're finally seeing our reflection.